Good morning. I do believe I'm live. Let me know that you can hear me. It's always a good start. It'd be good if I was sitting here talking and you couldn't hear me, but I am all plugged in, the mic's plugged in, it's all happening and ready to roll. So, good morning, or good evening, or good night, or wherever you are in the world. It will be a different time of day. So let me know where you are in the world and what time of day it is where you are. I've been really productive this morning. I've been tidying my desk, but actually it looks quite nice now. It looks quite tidy. I quite like it. I clearly need to get out more. I'm excited by a tidy desk. Does anybody else get excited by a tidy desk? Let me know in the comments if you like a tidy desk. That's a way to start a conversation, isn't it? And it's an interesting thing to say when we're talking about revealing our full potential, because it's very easy, isn't it, to get distracted by tidying your desk. I definitely can do that. But I'm here now, so I'm doing the important things, which is turning up and talking to you. So please do say hi in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let me know you can hear me. I can see one little bobbing icon. Is that the word? That's the word. One little bobbing icon at the bottom of the screen. Please do. Oh, it might be two now. Please do hop on and let me know that you're there in the comments. And I'd love to know where in the world you are. I am currently in quite a dreary part of Yorkshire. I'm in Leeds, in the north of England, in Yorkshire, and it's just a bit meh today. There's nothing much you can say about the weather. It's, of course, perfect exactly as it is. But we've had some beautiful weather over the weekend, and it's not rained, though, much, but it's just a bit dreary. So let me know. Weather is always a good topic to start off, isn't it? So today, I do like to do a little bit of this chit-chat bit at the beginning while people come in. I know it takes a while for the app to sort of tell people, and there's a bit of a delay on everything, really, as there is with technology. So as you're coming in, good morning. It's definitely morning here. I had a bit of a sleep in this morning for me. So I've been for a walk this morning as well, just to kind of wake myself up, really. I was still a bit sleepy because I very rarely sleep until my alarm, and this morning I slept until my alarm. When I woke up, I was a bit disorientated. Whose alarm's going off? What's that? Because I so rarely get woken up by an alarm, and I kind of think my body would have slept a bit longer if the alarm hadn't gone off. So, but it's good for me because I didn't used to sleep very well. I noticed this morning, actually, and just this is all pertinent to the Three Principles conversation, the stories that we have around sleep. Maybe I should do a course about sleep. Like the stories that we have that we, as soon as we start buying into them in our heads, sleep evades us, doesn't it? So I woke up at 4 something. I did look at the time, which is probably a bit silly, but I knew it was 4 something anyway, because I knew it was after 4 because it was light, and in the summer, of course, you get a sense of it being morning because it's light so early, and I noticed the voice in my head, the thinking starting to say, oh well, it's 4 something, you're probably not going to go back to sleep now, because quite often I don't go back to sleep when it's 4 something. I get up at 4 something or 5 something, and I noticed the thinking saying, oh, you're not going to go back to sleep now, you might as well get up and do some work, and yada yada. Yeah, and I just noticed this ability to just go, I don't really have to think that, do I? And just, it's not a capacity I've had before, and it's not a capacity I will have all the time, I'm sure. But just in that moment, having enough consciousness to know that was a story, enough awareness to know that was a story about sleep. that I've bought into so many times, because so many times I do just get up at 4:30 or something and go and do some yoga, and then I'll go for a walk and start my day, which means I'm pretty tired by the end of the day as a rule. But yeah, but just noticing that thinking. And really, in what I do in this transformational conversation, the three principles, that's really all I do, is just help you to see where your thinking is taking you on a merry dance, as our thinking does often. And today we're going to be discovering our inner resilience and looking to embrace adversity for growth, which is there's just so much to talk about in that topic. But I'd love to know what brought you here, where you are in the world, how your day has started today. Let me know if you're new. I mean, if you just write new in the comments, that's good, because I like to know if there's new people here. I do have quite a lot of... I was going to call you repeat offenders there. I don't know why that word. You know, when you're trying to think of the right word, don't be repeat offenders. I mean, regulars. People who regularly come and listen to me. So that's you're not repeat offenders. You're all gorgeous. You're not offensive at all. But that, it's a type of phrase that means something similar. Your brain kind of pops it in. Isn't it amazing what brains do? Like, that is the excitement. Hi, Slovenia, what a beautiful name that is. That's beautiful. I love that name. Yeah, a new offender. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Isn't that what brains do, though? They just like, I don't feel that anybody here is an offender, but my brain just went, what's the word? What's the word? What's the phrase? And it just spat out something. And that's what I love about seeing that. That's what brains do. They try to solve things quickly. They want to solve things quickly, don't they? I heard somebody the other day talk about how our brain development was done during a phase of our existence when we were in an immediate return world. So by that I mean, when we felt afraid, there was really something there about to eat us. We had to deal with it. So it's very immediate. The fear was about something that was in front of us right now. That's how our system worked. But now we don't work in an immediate feedback sort of environment. So our brains have just gone a little bit awry, and they just try to fix stuff really quickly. Like, I didn't need to come up with there was no urgency really, but my brain went, oh, what can I put into this space? Isn't that amazing? I love to be amazed by what our brains do. But also, what's helpful about that is that everybody's brain does that. Like, it doesn't make you, I don't mean special, it doesn't make you unique in many ways, because your brain's doing the same thing as everybody else's brain is. And what's helpful about that is that you can really start to look towards not having mental illness and not feeling bad about yourself and not thinking that you're uniquely terrible and your thinking's awful, and because we're all doing the same thing. Our brains are doing the same thing. And then the next course that I wrote it down yesterday, but I think I've electronically stored it now. I've got another course in mind. It's something about know your mind, or know your brain and learn to love it, is going to be the next topic. We'll cover that in July, because now we're in June. And if you are new to me, this month's kind of, the essence of this month's direction that we're looking in is to revealing our full potential, whatever that might be for you. If you've got a sense that it's just there's something missing, might look like there's something missing in the outside world, but actually this is about revealing what's inside you. So I have a course that has just come out this morning. So if you're here, you're hearing it hot off the press. I see it. I've just been on the platform, on the dashboard just before coming on to this, to see that revealing your full potential with the three principles is live. And my other course, Calm, Balance and Clarity with Ease, is also there. If you were going to do them in any order, I'd probably do calm, balance and clarity with ease first. But it probably doesn't matter, really. But they're both available now on the platform. So please do have a look at those. I'm really proud of them and what's in them. And they do start to point us towards so much more than we think we might be. So a little bit about me before we completely dive into this topic. If you are new here, you'll see that I'm called Clare Downham. I'm known as the Queen of Calm. That's how I'm known, Clare Queen of Calm, on pretty much every platform you come across. I think I've pretty much done all my names now are all Clare Queen of Calm. And I am a human potential catalyst. I walk with you as you explore what's available to you. I take you on a transformational journey through a beautiful conversation based in the understanding of the three principles. And I have just, in the last couple of days, released a track on here. It hasn't been approved yet, so it'll take probably about a week. That usually takes. I've just released a new track on here that is about the three principles in general. If you enjoy listening to me, then please keep listening to me. I do regular lives. I'm here today, and I'm here again tomorrow at midday. From Limitations to Liberation is the title tomorrow, and that's about transcending thought patterns. Learn about the three principles. If you like me as your teacher, then stick with me and learn about the three principles, through my truckloads of content that there are on here, or, reach out to me. And of course, I offer opportunities to work with me too. But learn about the three principles. It's the most transformational thing I've ever done, and I have done a lot. So if you're here having done a lot of self-development and trying to fix yourself and trying to make yourself feel okay, then you're in the right place. The possibility is to no longer need to do any of that stuff. That's where I am now, having been in a place where I was doing hours and hours a week of things to try and fix myself. And that's finished. And that was post a burnout. So I've been to probably the ultimate level of stress to the point where I made myself ill with burnout. And I've also been and I'm now at the other end, where I'm not really sure I know how to be stressed anymore. I have my moments of being a bit wound up, but the whole kind of being up here at a level of stress, which is where I was for much of my life, probably for a good 20 years. I was pretty stressed, and then in the final sort of 18 months, it went to a different level, and I burnt out. But it doesn't have to be that way. We're not a stress head, we're not a stressful person. You're not an anxious person. You're not a person who is naturally overwhelmed. None of that is true. And this month I'm really enjoying exploring. I'm going to be enjoying exploring what is available to us underneath who we think we are. The issue is, and I was talking to my fiance about this morning, the issue is that we think we are our psychology. That's what we think, and we're not. And that's what we explore in the three principles. Three principles are mind, thought, and consciousness. I would love you to listen to the track that explains that better, because during the sessions I don't really talk about the three principles individually like that. But I talk about the effect of them, really. What's going on when we're thinking, feeling, and behaving in particular ways. What are we misunderstanding, and what's helpful around particular things? So I'm a regular teacher on Insight Time. I do 3 or 4 of these lives usually a week. So please do, I'd love to see you here again. If you go and follow me, then of course the clever thing, I love this about Insight Timer, that if you follow me, you will be told when I've released something new, whether that's a recording, of which there are many. I'm working on some new recordings at the moment, some individual ones, some meditation type things, whether it's accessing my courses, of which I'm trying to release a new course each month, or or just knowing when these lives are. All that information is on my profile, and there's also a link there that you can click through to get to know me a little bit better if you want to. So, discovering inner resilience. I'm going to talk about resilience first, and about the setup really for what I believe about resilience, and what I think, if we even look at it a little bit, we can see is evidenced in what we see around us in terms of resilience. But that there's a lot of stories around resilience that are not helpful. So resilience is really our ability to bounce back from things that happen in our lives that are perhaps not ideal. And we've been doing it all our lives, from being very, very small. In fact, we were super resilient when we were very small. Well, we still are, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So you won't remember probably learning to walk and learning to talk and learning to do all the things that you now do with ease. But let's just take learning to walk as an example of resilience. I doubt anybody can really know how many times a small child falls down and gets up in the process of learning to walk. Many, many, many times, don't they? They fall down, they get up, they fall down, they get up, they fall down, they get up. And that process of falling down and getting up, that's resilience in action, isn't it? Like, the child might cry for a minute or two, but then they want to get up again. That drive to move forward, that drive to develop, that drive to grow is there all the time. I once heard somebody describing resilience as being like a rope round your middle, just pulling you forward, pulling you forward in life. Now, that resilience, which was there as you learnt to walk and talk and do everything else that you now do really easily, sometimes seems like it's gone. Like, if you search on Google now, if anybody is sitting there with the internet, with another internet window open and wants to do this, if you just search something like how to build resilience on Google, I guarantee you will get going on for probably 500 million results, something like that. I think sometimes, depending on the exact wording you use, like if you use develop resilience or grow resilience or whatever, there will probably be going on for some results. There'll be a billion results. Now, even if there's 500 million results, 500 million, there are only 8 billion, well, it's not quite 8 billion people on the planet. So that really is a bit out of proportion, isn't it? And the reason is, as I see it, is that it's because people, if you went to 10 different resilience workshops, and if you're employed and you've got a management team who are wanting to look after your well-being, and they're sending you to these, who here has been to a resilience workshop? I can guarantee if you went to 10 different resilience workshops, there might be some things that went across, but there'll be something new, some new tool, new technique, some new way to build resilience in every single one of them. What that is telling me is that the reason it seems to be something we have to keep coming up with new ideas about is because they're all wrong. Because they're all saying, do something out here to be resilient. And what I'm saying is, resilience is in you. So it's like a wild goose chase, literally, where we're looking for something outside of us that isn't there. So that's why it's gone so common. That's why there's billions of hits or hundreds of millions of hits on the internet for how to feel more resilient. It's because it's not out there. It's just not out there. But we're looking for it out there. So we're confused and lost. So this is what really happens to me with resilience. That we're born with it. It's innate. It's who, it's the essence of who we really are. It's part of that essence of who we really are, along with lots of other traits which I talk about. Peace, love, wisdom. I'm recording at the moment, making a podcast with a friend of mine. And each week we give a word. One of us comes up with a word and the other one starts the conversation talking about it. So the word yesterday when we recorded it was contentment. And we both really pointed to that being an innate trait as well, really. Babies are content, aren't they? Like, look to babies and little children to see these innate traits. So resilience is there. We're born with it. It's part of our one of our innate qualities. And then we learn not to be, or we learn to think. We don't learn not to be resilient. We just learn to listen to something else. So I think when little babies are falling down and getting up and falling down, there's no thinking in the way. There's no, oh, I'm not very good at this walking thing, I better give up. Or there's no, oh, I've fallen down 6 times, I'm not trying again today. There's none of that, or I'm not good enough, or, everybody else is doing this fast. And little babies aren't looking at, toddler group. The toddlers aren't looking at each other doing the comparison thing. Our mind loves to compare, doesn't it? It's one of the things that's going to be in that next course, Know Your Mind and Learn to Love It, because that's one of the things a human mind does. It does comparison. Doesn't mean we have to take it seriously, but it does it. And we learn to compare. And we learn to judge, and we learn to criticise, particularly ourselves. And over time, and we learn that just from being around people who say things. And in a moment when somebody says something or does something or is unkind to us in some way, we just find a coping strategy. But we're a little child, so our coping strategies are a bit rubbish, and they're thought-based. They just become a way of thinking after that, a habitual way of thinking. And that covers over this, this alive body, this aliveness, this infinite intelligence that we are, never wants to stop moving and growing and going forward. And if you think about it, in terms of our ancestors, they had to, because they would die if they didn't. Like, it's a bit different these days, isn't it? Because we can actually sit on the sofa and have somebody bring us food and not die, But actually, back then we had to keep growing and moving forward, otherwise we would die. So there's all sorts of things about the modern world that's taught us a way of thinking that is not helpful. The other thing that happens with resilience that I really see as somebody who worked in primary education for 20 years, and I have 2 adult children, and I'm also partly involved with raising an 11-year-old child who isn't mine, belongs to my fiancé now, is I can see how resilience can be hidden by life being too easy. I'll be honest with you. All parents are doing the best they can. But what I see now is, we call it snowplow parenting, is that children don't seem to have to even suffer being told no. And that isn't helpful. I understand the heartfelt reason why a parent does not want their child to be upset or sad and thinks that they're doing them a favour and being kind to them by giving in to them. But actually, if we're not learning to recover from being told, no, you can't have an ice cream, or no, you can't have chocolate in the supermarket. And how on earth are we going to recover from losing our job or our partner or whatever? We're just not going to have that access to that. Even though it's innate, it will be covered over by thinking that says life should be easy and I don't have to work hard, or I don't have to recover, or I'm not allowed to be upset. Because it's all the stories that are wrapped around resilience. And if one of the stories is, well, life just gives me what I want, the minute it doesn't give you what you want, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. So resilience gets covered over, not taken away. It doesn't get removed. It's like every one of those other traits: calm, peace, wisdom, love, confidence, all the things that we can go and search for on the internet are all there. They're all innate. They're all who we really are. And resilience is just us moving forward. Now, there are some stories that make us think we're not resilient. Like I've worked with clients who say, I'm not resilient. I can't recover from things. But they are. They just don't think they are. Morning, Carol. Nice to see you. So what might make us think we're not resilient? Well, getting upset. Like I remember hearing a story about an elderly lady whose husband had died. So they'd been together 50 years or something, and her husband died. And 2 weeks after he died, she was still upset, which I think sounds pretty normal to me. I don't know about you. Does that sound normal to you, to be still upset after your husband of 50 years? 2 weeks after your husband of 50 years had died. And she went to the doctors and was put on antidepressants. Because it's expectation, isn't it? It's expectation that we should have got over this by now, or we shouldn't still be upset, or we shouldn't be that shouldn't be how it goes. So it's where expectation comes in. I should be like this. It's not like that. I'm not being like that. We think we're not resilient when actually we are still moving forward. We can't not be. We just don't think we are. We're just not noticing it. So Sylvana, that's so insightful. Yeah. So once the child learns to walk, then the parent pads out the house and won't let them climb and won't let them run and won't let them fall over and get up from higher heights. So suddenly we think we're not as good as we thought we were. And it's absolutely beautiful that's exactly what's happening. And that's exactly what happens. And I think all parents do that in some way, shape or form. But I do think it's becoming increasingly common to move all adversity out of our children's way. And that is not helping them. It's not helping them. You know, I look back on the things my children have experienced, including me saying no an awful lot, being supportive to them and loving them and praising them as well, but saying no when I meant no. We're not having 3 ice creams today. We're not even having 2. And we're definitely not having one before dinner. Just general, sensible stuff, but saying no and letting them get over that and have a cry about it, have a moan, throw yourself on the floor in the supermarket, but it's okay. I think that's one of the key things, is that, and this is really what this session is pointing to, really, because the second part of the title is Embracing Adversity for Growth. Have you noticed how, people talk about, PTSD now has become extremely common as a diagnosis. Again, we're pathologising thoughts and feelings, which I don't think is helpful. But also there's something called post-traumatic growth. Because if you send, this is not underplaying what it is like to be in a situation where you are in a war situation and your life and your close, compatriots' lives are at risk. but when, when soldiers come home from some awful situation, they don't all have this. They don't all have PTSD. They don't all react in the same way. They don't all come away with the same restrictions. They come away different. Some come away and they grow from it, They see how they recovered, how strong they were, what they've put up with, and they go, wow, actually I've done really well. I've survived this. They're sad about the people who haven't survived it, but they come back and they move on with their lives in a strong position. It isn't necessary. What I'm saying is that the PTSD isn't caused by that situation. It's caused by how people relate to it. Hello, Joseph. Nice to meet you. I'm just peering at your picture because I do know a Joseph. I just was checking whether it was the same person, but it isn't. But it's nice to see you here. So, Selena, I would love to know what you mean by struggling with resilience. That's a really great kind of question that I would ask somebody who I was working with. Is what do we mean by struggling with resilience? So this let's just recap a little bit. Before I do that, I'll just say hi because lots of other people have come in and we're getting some help. Thank you, Joseph, for saying hello, and Carol for saying I'm new and hi. But let me know. Just put I'm new. Earlier on, if you weren't here, the phrase came a repeat offender. Which is not because I think any of you are offenders, but it just came to mind. When my brain was trying to find what the right phrase was, it just came up with that, as it does sometimes, when you can't find the right word. Anyway, if you're a regular, then say hi. It's nice to see you. And if you're new to my sessions, so I've just recently started doing sessions in the morning. So I'm guessing in this session, I've got some UK people, probably, and maybe some European people. Who are amazing, because if you can listen to all this in English and it's not your first language, then to me you're a genius, because I don't have fluency in any other language. So say hello. Let me know if you're new and let me know where in the world you are. If you've just come in, I'm Clare Down, I'm Queen of Calm. Please do pop over and follow me. There's a link on my profile. There's a place where you can follow me so you can find out about all my courses. So I've got a new course out today. I've got one course called Calm, Balance and Clarity with Ease, which has been out a few weeks. And I've now got Revealing Your Full Potential with the 3 Principles. And hello, Stella. And Joseph is new too. Hello and welcome, both of you. I'm known as the Queen of Calm, and I am a human potential catalyst, which means that I take you on a journey to reveal your true potential through a transformative conversation known as the 3 Principles. So it's really, I know I'm supposed to niche. Anybody else a coach who just goes bleh when you think about niching? But I don't. I help humans, and I'm tired of this whole niching thing. Really, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, you'd just like to feel better, or you've noticed that you're doing things to try and feel better that aren't particularly good for you, then I can help, because your potential just needs revealing. It's there already. Like in this conversation today, we're talking about discovering inner resilience. And what I'm pointing to is that it's all already there inside. And that's what I help people to do, to reveal what's already inside. And it must be a really interesting time in Ohio, Stella. I feel like very late at night, perhaps. I'm not sure which time zone you're in, but I suspect it's either very early hours of the morning or very late at night. So welcome and thank you for being here. So we're exploring this the wee hours. I love that phrase, the wee hours. Yeah, Slovenia. So completing a college course, that's a brilliant topic. But I love what you've seen. It's online. Online learning is tricky. You know, it's harder, I think, to learn online than it is to learn in person. I think we all grew up learning in person, didn't we? So it's a bit of a strange scenario. But I love the fact that you've noticed that you've had a few setbacks and got over them. Like maybe when, you know, you say time is ticking and you're losing interest in the content. Well, me too, with lots of courses I've done. Maybe just remember why you wanted to do it in the first place. Because the getting through the nitty-gritty of something and getting caught up in our thinking about it can take us off on a tangent, really, away from something actually we really do want. So remember why. Remember why. Why are you doing the course? And remember that you've already got over, you've been here, you've had some setbacks, you've got over them. Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah, and if the company providing the training aren't really up to much. Trust your gut, Silvina. Notice if you're feeling wound up about it. Yeah, for the certificate. Yeah, I can relate to that. So I guess that's it, isn't it? It's just keep going and get through it and then get the certificate that you need to do the next thing that you want to do. I've been there and done that with training and learning, just to get through it and get the certificate that I want. And also, being from Yorkshire, I've also kept going because I've paid for it. like I don't do any NLP, I don't do any tools or techniques. But interestingly, just as I was learning about the three principles, when I came across the three principles, I was on an NLP course, and it was really interesting because I'd paid for it. So I finished it, even though as soon as I found the three principles, I realised I didn't need to use NLP, that it wasn't necessary to help people, or I didn't want to use it to help people. But I finished the course because I'd paid for it. So I turned up and listened to all the content and did the little assignments and stuff, just because I paid for it. So now I have an NLP certificate that I've literally never used. I think I've used it on one client ever. And that was just when I was transitioning across to the three principles. So when we've got something to do that we're not enjoying, but we've kind of got a why, I guess we just have to remember why. But you haven't got a problem with resilience. You're not enjoying something. That's normal and human to not want to continue. And if you're not getting feedback or support either, none of that's about you, Savina. Just keep going. And good luck with it. I really do wish you the best. It's not easy when there's something we're doing that we're not really enjoying. But it is in this second part of the title, the embracing adversity for growth. That is absolutely what we're talking about here, Selena, isn't it? That it doesn't feel nice to be doing the course, which doesn't mean, it doesn't sound like it's a particularly helpful bit of training you're going through, and the system perhaps isn't helpful. However, it's something to get through and to realise that when you do, there's a new version of you on the other side. There's something to get excited about finishing something and doing something. So the stuff out there, college courses or things we've got to do, if you're a business person, there might be putting yourself out there. That often comes up. Doing your bookkeeping and your tax return. Anybody else find that challenges them? It does me. All the things that we know we want to do or that need doing, and feel icky. I'm going to use the word icky. They just feel off. We don't want to do them. They don't feel nice. Often, you will keep turning up to my sessions, and we'll keep you sane. We'll keep you sane. I mean, I don't know where you are in the world, Slovenia, but I'm in the UK. So if you're here in the UK or in Europe somewhere, then my sessions are probably all at decent times for you. Yeah, keep going. So what I was about to say there was that there's a thing that we want to do. Like, if you ever had that inspiration to kind of explore something or learn something or do something new, and then as you start to get into it, you start to get this discomfort, this kind of resistance feeling to doing it. Now, the great thing about that feeling is that feeling isn't letting us know about the thing that we need to do. That feeling is letting us know about our thinking about the thing we need to do. Now, that doesn't mean, Slovenia, that your course has been well organised or any of that. It might be being badly organised and it's not very well led and you're not getting the feedback, etc. However, we can still see that our thinking about that is playing a part in our experience of it. And that makes us feel bad. So the feeling that we experience in these situations isn't telling us about the thing, the college course or anything else. It's telling us about our thinking about the thing. And the thinking, as we've already talked about, is this residue of the past. It's the residue, like Savina was saying. It's the residue of things people have said to us and done to us, and just our misunderstandings as a small child about what the world is about and how it works and everything else. So if we think about our feelings being not about the thing that's in front of us, but about our thinking about the thing that's in front of us to do, and that thinking is about the past, not the present anyway, then what's to be seen, I think, on the other side of doing something that feels uncomfortable is a new, almost like a new level of our access to our resilience, like a piece of another piece of the old thinking falls away. And one of my teachers calls it the growing edge. So it's the growing edge of your of you, really, of your thinking, of your psychology. Like this is so exciting because we think we are our psychology, we think we're our thinking, we think we're our feelings. We're not any of that. We are the infinite capacity of the universe. And every time we step a little bit into that discomfort and we do the thing that looks like it's where the feeling is coming from when it isn't, a little bit more of the layer, a little bit like it's like the layers of an onion, like the layers of an onion, and a little bit more of a layer, maybe just a little bit of that silver skinny bit comes off, and then there's another layer and another layer and another layer. And every time we're doing that, we're revealing a little bit more of this potential that I truly believe is in all of us. Like I am in this nice content place now, most of the time. Content with myself, with my life, with my circumstances, just content. And, but then still more seems to fall away, which is super cool and exciting. There's more still to disappear, to be let go of. And a big chunk of stuff can fall away when we step into that discomfort and do the thing that feels uncomfortable. And where this is, this can be seen really strongly around anxiety, because quite often with anxiety, and bless you if you are struggling with anxious thoughts and feelings, that with anxiety, often our life gets smaller. I think social anxiety is a great example of that, where we stop going places, we stop doing things, we sort of, everything shrinks down. And our life becomes quite small, or we avoid doing things and our life becomes quite small. Or what actually happens when somebody actually realises that the anxious feeling is just how they're caught up in their psychology in that moment, how they're caught up in their thinking, and that it isn't a sign there's anything really wrong or problematic, then they step into that space and they still experience that anxiety and that discomfort. They still step into that space. That is profound in terms of what that person then has available to them. It's like it just breaks down a barrier. Not that there's a real barrier there, but it just creates, it just allows another layer to fall away. Another unnecessary layer. If that makes sense. And so that concept for me, like embracing adversity for growth, might sound like doing stuff that's hard, but actually what it actually means is doing stuff that we think is hard. Because the majority of stuff that we think is hard isn't hard. I mean, how many times have you done that thing where you've put off a job, a thing that you need to get done? I put off going live. I mean, I've been going live almost daily for goodness knows how many years, probably about 3 years now, nearly 3 years now. But prior to that, I danced around it. Like there was definitely some anxiety there. There was definitely some fear. There was definitely some sense of my thinking about other people judging me and all the usual stuff that comes up when people think about going live. But once I did it and did it and did it and did it again, all that thinking just, I don't know, it's not its own thing, our thinking, our psychology, but it does almost seem like it just got bored because it wasn't having an effect anymore. So it had there was no point to it. And it just over time stopped being there. So now when I do a live, I love doing them. I get the feeling of joy from sharing this understanding. This is my passion. It's what I believe to be the most important thing to do, which is why I'm here sharing it for free. Although if you are able to make a donation because you're finding this helpful, then of course that's gratefully received, and thank you. But the actual feeling is quite neutral. I would say it's got the same charge as brushing my teeth in terms of negative charge. There's none. It's just something that I do now. It's just something that I do. And I guess for some people that might be writing or it might be other things, but it's seeing that capacity to do these things is available to everyone. The capacity to practically to sit here and talk to my own face, which I have to say is beyond ridiculous, to sit here talking to your own face. Very, very strange experience, but you get used to it. I do like some other platform, like I like Zoom. I talk to my clients on Zoom, and I always get rid of my own face. I remove my self-view. Get rid of my self-view and just have their face filling the screen. So it's like a proper conversation. But with these lives, the only thing you can do is be distracted by your own hair a lot. What's that bit of hair doing? Yeah. Oh no, what's happening to my mascara? You know, like, I tend not to do that too much, but it is a little bit distracting looking at your own face. But I've just got over it. It's just one of those things. It's the same doing lives on lots of other platforms. You've got to look at your own face. And because there's nobody else, well, there are people here, obviously, but not in the same way. So I've really seen a journey there from something that I didn't think I could do, that I had a lot of thinking about, that I felt very anxious about, to a place where that thing doesn't have, the thing hasn't changed. I mean, it's just such a beautiful, I've changed, I've grown, I've got over the adversity of doing a live that felt quite scary. And as a result, I have grown. I'm a different person. So now this is not inviting you to push yourself, really. But what does happen in this Three Principles conversation is that over time, you just start to take your thinking less seriously. As you realise the feelings are just an indication of your state of mind and not an indication that the thing you're about to do is a problem, it just gets easier to do the thing. So I find this quite ironic in a way, because I was, when I first was on my self-development journey, I was very into the kind of hustly, shouty self-development people like Tony Robbins. Anybody else a recovering Tony Robbins fan? I feel like there should be a support group for that, you know, but all the kind of Brendan Burchard and Tony Robbins and, I don't know, the shouty people. And that was all like, do the thing, do this, just do it, you know, the kind of Nike, you know, strapline as well. And now I find myself saying to people that too, but from a totally different, from an understanding that it is not the thing that's causing the feeling, it is our thinking about the thing. And going through adversity, going through things that are difficult, doing things that are hard, coming back from things that are hard, does help us to grow. It really does. And I think it takes me right back to what I said near the beginning, which was that we must, you don't have to do anything I say, but for me, as a society, it is important to provide our children with the chance to experience adversity, even if that's just crying because they're not getting their own way. If we are moving everything out of our children's way, we are restricting their growth. We are restricting their ability to get over themselves and move on in life, their ability to learn to do that. We're restricting them experiencing the fact that they can get, because that's the thing, we have to experience that we can get over things. I think if you sat down and wrote down all the things you've got over in your life, you probably won't remember a lot of them. That would be a long and, you know, amazing list. We mustn't deny our children these opportunities to experience adversity, or ourselves. And we are doing that if we are avoiding. We're removing that opportunity to see that we can recover, see that resilience is innate, see that it's always there. If we are continually, you know, so an example that comes to mind is, you know, somebody who's not in a relationship because they're scared of getting hurt. You know? And there's plenty of people out there like that. Missing out on life. Yeah, me too, Carol. Well, I think yeah, it is, definitely. It's I don't talk much. Oh, you are a mental health provider, Carol, so welcome. I love that you say you're a mental health provider. Like it's great that you are in this space listening to this conversation, because this conversation is a conversation about innate mental health, and that all the labels and all the pathologization of thoughts and feelings, so that the DSM has gone from being this little skinny book in 1950 to being a book like this in 2023, that we have pathologized mental psychology, we've pathologized psychology, we've pathologized thoughts, feelings and behaviour, we've made them into an illness. And now, I don't know, I'm 52, the DSM's been around for 70 years. Has our mental health apparently got better or worse for having all those labels? I know which I think. It's got worse, a lot worse. And I just think we've pointed people we've pointed people to the direction of feelings are problems, thoughts are problems. Well, they are if you think you're psychology, but if you know you're not your psychology, none of them are a problem. They're just passing through. They're supposed to pass through. Yep, self-development too, Carol. But this is the antidote to all of that. So welcome. If this is the first, I would love to hear if you're the first time hearing about the three principles and hearing about this way of looking at things, where we are living in a thought-created reality. Feelings are an energetic reflection of thought. We are creating our own reality, our own unique reality. Try not to look at it too much, Carol. but it is, you can see. Well, once you understand this understanding, you can see it. You start to see the outside in misunderstanding, and that is fundamentally the issue now with the suffering of so many people, that the outside in misunderstanding, that we think our feelings come from the outside world, or that it means there's something wrong with us, and none of that is true. So welcome if you're new to the Three Principles conversation. As I said at the beginning, but some of you weren't here, this understanding is the most life-changing thing I've come across. It has changed my life and many, many other people's lives. It really is different to, if you've not come across it before, it's different to anything else. There are no tools, no techniques. There is a description of how life works, a really simple one, which when understood changes your life, brings about more ease, less stress, less anxiety, more calm, more clarity, and helps to reveal your potential. I now see myself as a human potential revealer or catalyst or reviver, because that human potential today, we're talking about inner resilience, but that potential is so much more than just resilience. That is within all of us. And Bernie, I'm still working out how to do that. So thank you so much. I'm glad you found it helpful. Please do go over to my profile, because there are loads of other tracks sort of pointing in the same direction. So there's loads to listen to, and there are also 2 courses. There's Calm, Balance and Clarity with Ease, and live today, hot off the press, is Revealing Your Full Potential with the 3 Principles. So the theme for this month is about revealing your full potential. So there'll be lots of these sessions, but then the course will provide you with a lot more depth, and also there will be some free recordings as well to back up this session. So hopefully from those you will get plenty of other information, and they will come out gradually though, because the way they approve on Insight Timer, I submit them and it's usually about 7 to 10 days later before they actually get approved. So, and also if you go to my profile and you there's a link there where you can connect to me and find a little bit more about what I do, and get a little freebie in the process. So we are at the hour now. I can't believe it goes so fast. This at the beginning I think, oh, it's going really slowly, and then suddenly I think, oh, it's an hour. It says I've done an hour. So welcome to all the new people. I hope you found this helpful. If you found this helpful and you are able to, I know you're not all able to, or you might not all want to, and you are able to make a donation, then donations are always gratefully received, and I really thank you for those. I'd love to see some of you on the course. The course is great as well because you can kind of engage in a conversation with me ask me questions and things on the course platform. So that's quite cool. It can make it a bit more interactive. You can also message me. Feel free to do that. Yeah, that's it really. Lots of love. I'm here again tomorrow at 12 p.m. UK time, British summer time, apparently. It's a bit dreary today, but fingers crossed it's going to brighten up later. And tomorrow it's from limitations to liberation. Oh, Juliet, bless you. I am going to find a way to... I wonder if I could just voice record it. Put it on now. That is ironic, Juliet. That's really ironic that you're on the new course. Excellent. I hope you're enjoying it. So, Juliet, I am going to look at how to do this. I think I have to screen record and then just leave my computer running. And so then I have to find a time when I don't want to use my computer. Probably on an evening when I'm about to... when I'm chilling out in the next room watching telly, I can probably record it then because I think it picks up the external sound as well rather than just what's on the screen. So lots of love, everyone. See you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Hopefully see you, and I'll be back again next week as well. I haven't scheduled those yet, but I will do soon. So from limitations to liberation, transcending thought patterns. Please do go and follow me. You'll find out then about everything that gets released. Take care, lots of love, and have a beautiful day.